Hello. Welcome back to Intuitively Simone. It is me, Leah Simone, and I will be doing a reading. One that I think you guys might appreciate because it's a little bit of a change from some of the more, previous readings that I've done more recently, which was a little more of the darker side, the shadow healing side. This one is going to be a two-part reading, so we'll get back into that scorpionic stuff. But so the two-part, we're going to do what is your area or areas of strength, however it comes through, and then the part two is going to be what are your opportunities of growth. I want to just say that I've been a little under the weather these past couple days, and I'm coming out of it. So if I'm going through this reading and I seem less than enthusiastic, please understand it's not that. I'm just really trying to push through for you guys so that you can so that there's some sort of consistency, and so that I can get this out to you guys. But if I sound a little energetically drained, it's not a reflection of your energy. It's me just trying to power through and deliver the message to you. So we have 4 piles: pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4. I will put a picture up for you to pause, and you can decide which pile or piles resonate for you, and the timestamps will be listed below. I also want to remind you that you can pick a pile for yourself, and if there's someone else that you're wondering or that you're asking about, you can pick a pile for them. I will be reading, of course, as if I was reading for that person that you're asking about. So if I say you, it's not you, it's the person that you're asking about. And that's true for this reading or any reading. So, all right, let's get into it. Pile number 1. So we are talking about what your strengths are. And I'm going to be honest with you, this one is so your energy is coming through as a misunderstood energy, which I believe I get your energy quite often here. I know I do. I pick up on your energy quite often. So thank you for coming back. But you are a misunderstood energy. And so the way that your strengths show up, people misinterpret them. And I think people, they receive your energy as more negative or sinister. I heard imbalanced than it is. But it's not that. You are a strong mirror to people, and this is one of your strengths. And I'm not even sure that you're really aware of it, but you show people the truth of who they are, their light side and their shadow side. However, because a lot of these people that you engage with, excuse me, or that come in contact with your energy, they are dealing with some distortions of their own. They don't often recognize that how they would label you is a reflection of their self. So this seemingly negative aspect that people kind of try to label you and paste onto you, it's not you. Although they may describe you as that, what it really is a reflection of their self that they're seeing in you. So let me give you an example. What does that mean? That means that if someone is walking around saying that they are a person of high morality and high value, and that they respect the everyman, and they feel that every person should have a chance and space and opportunity to be their self, to vocalize their opinions, to just be. If someone is walking around saying that, but they're not living by it, you show up and you are the embodiment of that. You actually are that person. And so it reflects to the other person that they are not really that. So instead, they might label you as a troublemaker or a rebel or the oddball or awkward or a contrarian is what I just heard. Is dysenterian, is that a word? Because I heard that and I don't know if I heard it distorted because I was talking to my dysenterian. Is that a word? That's something that I think I heard, but I don't know. So I'll look that up, I guess, to see. But so yes. So just right away, I haven't even gotten into the cards yet, but right away, that's what is coming through for your energy. And I feel the need to explain that because I don't know that you would readily recognize this as a strength. I don't know that you would readily even recognize that this is what this is. This is probably a situation where if you're not, and I don't get that you're not aware. I get that you are aware, but this may have taken some effort on your end to discover this. If you are a person that has not done your inner work, or maybe you're just starting, you may not have been able to recognize it as this, and you might have personalized these relationships or the people that come in contact with your energy and how they project their own insecurities onto you. You might have personalized that and internalized that and taken that on as your responsibility. And if you were that person, I'm getting that you're recognizing that now, and you can understand how to disengage so that you do not personalize it and you do not take on the emotional responsibility of other people. Excuse me, you guys, I'm hardcore channeling. And so I'm starting to get like burpee, which is a new thing that I'm realizing. I never paid attention to it before. This is just on a quick side note. Oh, yeah, that's why I'm talking about this. Duh. You're also a person that's very intuitive. I'm like, why am I going off about channeling? Not that it matters. So that might be something that you want to look. I don't know if you are super aware of how intuitive you are. I get the sense that you are very in tune with energy. So whether you would consider it intuitive or whether you would label it doesn't matter how you would label it. You have an energy that is prone to being very receptive to other energies, and you can navigate that. And what I'm also getting is that a part of that way of navigating and that intuitive navigation is what I heard. A part of that intuitive navigation is it comes from your own authentic self, your own inner light. This is your strength. It comes from you being authentic. Authenticity is your area of strength. And in that authenticity, it highlights the different types of energies around you. And I'm also just getting that you probably really attract a lot of competitive types, and a lot of competitive types. Like I keep being drawn to like the shark and the hyena, which I know is not a part of your reading, but I keep being drawn to the shark and the hyena over here is like the competitive types that want to come at you because they want to bring you down. These are the people that project onto you. These are the people that project onto you like their own insecurities because this person is, because they're competitive or because they don't mind, ripping someone down or tearing someone down, because they don't mind a more, oh my God, what am I trying to say? An approach that's less than admirable. That's not the word that I'm looking for. It's like savage, because they don't mind a more savage approach. You reflect to them the truth of who they are, because you are the opposite of that. You're not savage, but they think that you are because they are projecting onto you because that's how they would handle it. So they just automatically paint that picture onto you, but that's not the truth of who you are. And that shows when I'm getting when you decide to shine this light. And the thing is, this light is not anything that can be taken away from you. It's not anything that can be altered. It's not anything that anyone can speak away. curse away, pray away, because it is your authenticity. It is the core of who you are. It's like the firefly. The firefly doesn't have to work or try to be a firefly. It just is. The firefly has a light that lights up for whatever purpose that it lights up. That's you. You don't have to try to shine the light. You don't have to like map out a plan like, okay, today I'm going to shine my light by da-da-da. You just are. You just do what you are intuitively like led to do. And that's just it. So the song that you have here is, and what I'm getting is like, this is your response to these people who come at that project, they come at you is what I was going to say. Okay, now I heard come at me, bro. So it's like these people that they're in competition with you, and you're like not. It's comical. It's comical. It's like when you recognize that these people are in competition with you. I'm seeing someone look over their shoulder and just be like, oh, I didn't even know you were there. Like you weren't even on my radar, but you're competing with me. Okay, good luck. You know what I'm saying? Because not even good luck in like, ha ha ha, I'm gonna win. It's just good luck because like. Okay, so now what I'm hearing is you can't, oh shoot, what is it, Spirit? You can't argue with a fool. Do you know that saying? So that saying of you can't argue with a fool, it's like, okay, it doesn't matter, but that's your energy. So yeah, like I'm seeing that picture, I'm seeing that image of like you looking over your shoulder, just kind of like, oh, okay. So the song that you have here is the audacity to question me like you ain't leave me out here on my own. I was traumatized and suicidal, sick and tired. I am not to blame. This is None of Your Concern by Janae Aiko. But if you want to listen to that, you can. The context of this song is talking about a specific relationship, and that might relate to you. That might relate to your situation, your energy at this current moment. But I'm getting this on a broader scale as well, more so than relational. And what I mean by that is like, this sums up the journey of getting to where you are, where you can recognize like the audacity of you to question me, for you to paint this picture onto me like I'm this malicious energy, or like that I don't have morals or values or standards, or that I don't live by what I speak, that I'm not my true authentic self. Like the audacity and the fact that I've gone through this phase of taking all of this on and kind of like internalizing it, you know, and taking on the responsibility of somebody else's emotional projection, like, you know, you may have experienced, that may have caused some type of trauma within you, and maybe even suicidal thoughts. I mean, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but, you know, it got you to a point where you just were not feeling like yourself. But what I'm getting is that you recognize that, and now you're able to come back to yourself, and this is a part of your strength. A part of your strength. This whole process, what I'm getting is that it was meant to solidify your idea of who you, not even idea, your knowledge. There's another word that's trying to come through, not knowledge. It's like your knowingness of who you are, innately. It's like solidifying that, like, okay, this is who I was, like in the past, you might have said, you know, this is who I am. And that was the truth. That's who you felt, who you are. But if ever there was a moment where something came in to knock you down, and not knock you down, but if ever there was a moment where something came in and you maybe started to question who you are, like the process of going through all of these people that were kind of, really like berating your character, this solidified for you. This was it. This solidified that, yes, I am exactly my authentic self, who I'm saying that I am. And if ever that changes, I can communicate that, because you also are a person that knows, and you are aware that there is no one way of being infinitely. You know what I mean? Like there's a light aspect and a dark aspect in everybody, and energy is always changing. So today you might be like the most high vibrational being. Tomorrow you might have a day that's not your best, and maybe you're in lower vibration, but you realize that energy is always staying, and you're not going to be stagnant in that. And if ever you do get to a point where you are stagnant, you have the ability to pull yourself out of that. I'm also getting that there's a lot of like there's a lot of, okay, what am I trying to say? You get, people send you the evil eye. It's a jealousy. And I'm not really even sure if people recognize how jealous they are of you. Because what I'm getting is that it's not, if the people that are jealous of you would take a second to stop and look, they would see it's not you that they are jealous of. It's the fact that you are able to express and embody this element that is also within them, but they have blocked. So it's not you that they are jealous of. It's the expression. It's the acceptance of self. It's the embodiment of authenticity that they are not able, that they're blocked from, that they're jealous of. And these people don't recognize it as that though, because they're projecting. You know what I mean? So where you might be fearless, they might call that disruptive or chaotic or weird or awkward or whatever. And that's how they judge their self. And that's what's blocking them from being able to authentically express their self. Because if they are afraid of that judgment, if they do something that's out of the norm, then they're secretly judging their self and they're doing whatever they want to do. They're hiding it. It's in secret. It's in private. And I'm just getting this may even come through in sexual avenues, because I'm getting someone that has a sexual fantasy or a fetish, but they won't talk about it out loud. And if someone says something, then they'll be like, oh my gosh, that's so weird. I can't believe. But then they're secretly, at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Let me close all the doors and close all the windows and turn off all the lights and secretly hide underneath my covers and do this thing that I like. You know what I'm saying? But they can't, because they're judging that. And because you can express that so freely, they're projecting that out onto you. You're weird. You're the this, you're the that. And you're just well, then I'm going to be that. You know what I'm saying? It's cool. Because I know I'm not that. I know that that's a reflection. I'm speaking to you about your energy. That's how your energy is. You're I know that I'm not that. I know that is a reflection that you are projecting, that I'm just simply a mirror to show you where you have blockages. And I'm just getting that it's so you are so intuitive. You are divinely led. You are divinely led. I think in more ways than you even realize. Even in moments where it seems it's just thoughtless. That's in my opinion, that's the best kind of intuition, intuitively led type of. What am I trying to say? That's the best. That is the best in my opinion, because it's effortless. You don't even have to think about it. So I'm just hardcore getting that this is your strength is your intuition and your authenticity, and the combination of that, how that illuminates it. It's light worker energy. And it also this experience, I'm just getting that you're coming out of an experience that really was challenging to self and to your identity and who you are. And it's you made it. I'm feeling so celebratory, from the angels, the guides. It's you made it, you crossed the threshold, you hit the finish line. This actually may be the reading that's the confirmation for you, that puts it all into alignment, that puts it all into perspective, that is the aha moment of oh, okay, I get why I had to go all that. I can see now how all of that contributed to this, me tapping even further into my power and owning that, so much so that I know that, it's me, it's who I am. That's not influenced by anything outside of just my own self and my connection to the divine intuitively. Everything else is what everything else is. I can only control myself. And I'm just hardcore getting psychic energy here, intuitive energy. So that's your overall energy. Okay, so now for your areas of mental strength, you have a really good way of, in heightened emotional conversations or environments or whatever, you have a really good way of like removing your emotional body, or removing yourself from your emotional body, just removing emotions out of it and kind of maintaining this calm and being fair and just and seeing it from both sides. Even if it was you having a debate or a disagreement with someone else, like you would see it from not just your side, but you would ask the questions to try to understand it from the other person's side, because you feel everybody has something to offer, something to share. And it's quite possible that whoever you are in a conversation with, that you might be having a disagreement with, has a perspective that you have not yet reached. Or maybe you haven't had the experience to give you that perspective. So you are very open to hearing the other side. And you're very, if it makes sense, if it's something that feels feasible, if it feels like it's legit, you will consider that and then take that on and integrate that and see how that works. If it doesn't seem like detrimental or anything like that, you have a very good balance of fairness, especially in situations of extreme emotion. I just get like the calm in your energy helps to calm the environment, you know? And it's like, that's how your mind works. You are able to, where other people might get into their emotions and then their mind starts going crazy, like you can kind of just bring it back into perspective. Also getting like, there's something about your energy, or maybe the way that there's this fearlessness in your energy, like the way that you think about things, or the way that you, how am I trying to explain this? It's like you show people a sense of fearlessness. Okay, so this is what I'm getting. In like I'm just like okay. So it's like you show people that there's nothing to fear when it comes to emotions, and when it comes to the thing like the shadow self, the darkness, the things that society says you should fear. Even things like what I'm doing, tarot or occult or divination, or you know how people talk about demons, and it's like you add a more grounded, realistic perspective that really it like takes the fear away. So whereas, you know, somebody might think of demons and they think of like, I'm seeing the scene from that movie Insidious, where in the corner there's like this very dark shadow. You can't really make out what it is, but it has like red eyes, and it's just like, that's the demon. Like a person that might consider demons to be that in the past, you're able to like break it down and say like, that's just a fantastical depiction from someone else's mind that they put onto a movie screen. Here's another way of looking at it. The demons are really just the aspects within ourselves or within other people or within society that we want to hide away and shove away because we were taught to feel ashamed by them, or to fear them, or whatever it is, or to not be proud of it, that it's wrong, or the things that we judge. So going back to that example that I gave previously about you know, like if you have a fantasy or a desire or a kink or whatever, and maybe you're not so ready to embrace that or be candid about it and not have to, you know, enjoy that in the dark or in the silence or in the secret, that would be considered like a demon or a shadow, because that's an element of a lower vibration that has a power over you. And it has a power over you in the sense that it's controlling your actions. That's a power. And that power, that demon, is a fear of judgment. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's just a more like tangible example of what really demons are, what this darkness is that society says you should be afraid of. And that's how you're able to like break things down on a mental capacity for yourself and for other people. And that's the light that you as the firefly brings into the darkness, to say like, look, it's really not that scary in here. Let me flash my little butt light, you know what I'm saying, and show you like it's not anything to be afraid of in here. Like that's how you approach it. That's your mental strength, is your ability to kind of like break that down and disassemble that for people and to lay it out, to say like, here are all the pieces. Yes, when you build it up together, it's like this, I'm seeing like a transformer. So it's like, yes, it may look big and scary and powerful and all that stuff when it's built, but when you disassemble it, it's just all these pieces. You know what I'm saying? So that's your mental approach. That's your mental strength. As far as your emotional strength, I'm just getting that, again, in this overall scenario that I have described about your energy and really stepping into your authenticity and really just reinforcing self, you have an emotional strength of I'm just getting that you're a person that has gone through a lot of, particularly criticism. You've probably received a lot of unfair, harsh judgment and criticism from people that were just projecting their own shadows, their own insecurities onto you. And so that created this sense of not being sure who you can trust, because I'm getting a lot of like family energy. And if not family energy, I'm getting a lot of family energy. But in addition to that, even like close people that you considered, that you revered, like close friends or maybe even relationships. And it's like these people that you didn't think would go on the attack towards you, that they did. And so now, like, you have in this process strengthening yourself emotionally to begin to, what I'm getting is like, trust yourself, to propel yourself forward in the direction that you intuitively know you need to go, regardless of what anybody else, the shark, the hyena, whatever anybody else might come at you and throw, whether it's correct or not. As for your spiritual strength, I am getting that you are super, I'm just getting that you're like movable. Like you, in situations that you are not respected, like these people that are coming at you, or appreciated or whatever, where you're being tolerated, I'm just getting like you have no problem. You are intuitively and divinely guided out of these situations where you're being tolerated. And it may not make sense, like logically from the outside looking at your situation. Someone may look at your move from something and be like, well, why would you do that? That doesn't make sense. You know, maybe that was a really stable environment. Like maybe you had a good, you know, material abundance or whatever it is. I don't know, where it might seemingly like that doesn't make sense that you would move away from, you had everything. And it's like, no, but I wasn't being respected on a human level. I was being tolerated, not appreciated, and I was being disrespected and not seen and not appreciated. And that's not, I know that I have more value than that. And so if the only reason why you're keeping me around is for like image or material gain or whatever, if you're not going to appreciate me on a human level, I'm out. And that those moves that you make, it doesn't make sense, but it's divinely led. And you, like, as much as you need to, as much as spirit guides you, as much as you are divinely led to move in this direction or move in that direction, because whatever situation that you might have been in is no longer, you know, it's served its purpose. You'll do that. You'll do it. And yes, it's sometimes like it takes, it's like what I'm getting is that you've built up like this core. Okay, I'm seeing like a checklist. Not that maybe you do, but not that you have a literal checklist, but it's like a system of things that it's like very simple. And it's like, as long as I have these things in whatever situation, when I move from here to there, like I can build from that. And I don't mean like, as long as I have some money and I have some, it's not like that. It's like, it's more spiritual. It's more authentic. It's more on a soul level. It's more like, if I have my honesty and my integrity, and if I have my own connection to the divine, and I have the ability to meditate, for example, because you can do that anywhere, really. It's like that, those type of things. Like, as long as I can stay centered and grounded and focused, and I am in connection with my own intuition, and I can, like, everything else can work out. That may be like super oversimplified, but that's just an example. But I'm really getting that. It's like, as long as you have your core, I don't know, things, or it's not even things. It's like processes and like rituals. As long as you have your like processes and rituals in place where you can connect and maintain self and keep yourself centered and grounded and focused, that you're like, okay, because I know that the universe will provide whatever else is needed in whatever situation, as long as I can stay grounded and centered and connected. And that is a spiritual strength. And that is that's another thing that I'm getting, that people might even like make fun of you for, or like outcast you, is what I heard. I don't even know if that's grammatically correct, but you might be an outcast, or outcasted because of your process, and because it doesn't make sense. Like, in the material world, it doesn't make sense. It's like, how would you leave this beautiful castle to go live in a shack in the woods? And it's like, that's not going to make sense to you because you're very materially minded. But in my spiritual connection, this is 100% what makes sense, and this is how I'm being divinely guided, and this is the path that I'm going to follow. You know what I'm saying? And that is the strength of yours. Everybody does not have that. That takes, I heard caliber, like that's a caliber of another love. Like that is, what am I trying? Okay, give it to me, Spirit. What is it? That's another caliber. Everybody doesn't have that strength to be able to do that. I mean, we are talking about what your areas of strength are. Like, everyone does not, the fear takes over, and they're like, well, it doesn't make sense. Why would I move from this castle and all of this material abundance to go live in it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have to forage for food. It's like, everyone doesn't have, the fear kicks in. It's like, well, what if an animal comes, or what if I run out of food, or what if I da-da-da-da? And you're just like, we'll figure it out, I guess, when it happens. But like, I'll be fine. I just know that in this castle I'm not being respected, and so I'm going to go out into this shack in this woods where I can connect with nature, and I know that they will embrace me because I am embracing it, and it's a give and take, it's mutual, it's reciprocal, and it's genuine, and it's authentic, and it's integral. And I don't have to sacrifice my dignity for the sake of saying I'm in this castle. That is your spiritual strength. As far as your relational strength, what I'm getting actually is that your strength is speaking up in relationships. You are a very fair and just, balanced person. Reciprocity, like, you like the balance of equal give and take, the reciprocity in any type of way, whether that's in communication, whether that's in effort or energy, or what, in any way that can, you are all about it. And so you have no problem speaking up when it comes to, first of all, you can recognize it and you will call it. And that is your strength. Now, other people may not recognize that as a strength, especially if they're on the opposite end of that, because then that would mean that that challenge to them it could be triggering, because it could be an insinuation that they're doing something wrong, but that's the thing, is these are the people that would then be projecting their own systems, belief systems, operational systems, whatever, onto you, because you don't approach it in that way. There is no that you're doing it right or wrong. It's just that, hey, I see that this is your way of being, and this particular thing that you do is pushing up against this boundary. So how can we, what can we do to prevent this, because it's creating some kind of friction, and that doesn't mean I'm right or you're right or whatever. It's just, is there a way that we can work around this so that you can get what you need and I can get what I need? Are you able to compromise in this situation, or is this something that I can compromise in this situation, or is this not something that we can compromise at all and we can go in a different direction? But you have no problem speaking up on that and saying it. I heard matter of fact, saying it so matter of factly, because for you it's like, we don't have time for that. You know, we don't have time for these emotional games and to pussyfoot and tiptoe, because I am a human being with feelings, real emotions. And if I'm investing, because you're an authentic person, if I'm investing, I'm doing it authentically and with a purpose. And so I'm expecting the same in return from the other person. And if you can't match that, then here we go with this one. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna move, because it's like, yes, from the outside world it may seem like, well, just stick to it, you know, this, it'll da da da, and you're like, no, my energy is saying that this is off, and it's not reciprocal, it's not genuine, it's not authentic. So spirit is moving me away from it, and that's where I'm gonna go. And that is beautiful. That's such beautiful energy, pile one. Wow, how incredible. Thank you for coming to my page. Like, that's awesome. That is so incredible. I really super love this. Is a very authentic, I just keep being drawn, like, something about, yo, you are so into, like, your energy. First of all, I'm getting that you are so connected to energy in general. You have a very sensitive energy field. You are so receptive. I said that right? Did I say that in the beginning? If I didn't, you are very receptive. You're very receptive. Whether you, the thing is, like, I don't know that you would really like call it that or consider it that. But if you do some research, maybe it'll, what I'm saying, it'll be like, oh, okay. And you'll be able, that's another way that you might be able to identify. But, yeah, so how beautiful. That's wonderful, pile one. I love your energy. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. I appreciate you letting me read for you. This is great. Congratulations. I see here that this was a little bit of a journey to really like solidify this, and to really just, like, I'm seeing like clean, crisp, fine lines, to really just like nicely trim this up and package this and get it kind of like, I heard, fine-tuned. So I see that that was a journey, and not the most pleasant, but gosh, where you are now is incredible. So I hope that this has served you, pile one. If it has, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. If you think someone else would benefit from this reading, please feel free to share this. If you are returning from a past video, I want to say thank you so much for coming back. And if this is your first time, I hope to see you in a future video. Thank you, pile one. Bye. So we're looking at your areas of strength, and if I can be honest, this is not feeling like the type of reading that you might expect. It's definitely not the type of reading that I was expecting with what I'm getting so far. And it's coming in, it's not coming in like super quick. This is probably one that I'm going to take my time with and be, I mean, direct, but a little bit delicate, because this could come across offensive if you're not self-aware or not in tune with the truth of who you are. Okay, so let's get into it. For your overall energy, the song that you have is, because I'm only one drink away from the devil, I'm only one call away from home, Yeah, I'm somewhere in the middle. I guess I'm just a little right and wrong. You also have the shark, and then you also have confident. Excuse me. Also, I want to apologize for how much I might clear my throat. I'm still like trying to recover from being a little under the weather. So sorry if that gets a little aggravating. I'm going to do my best to not do it though. Anyways, this energy, it's the best way that I can describe what's coming through as your overall strength is like you're really good at, I want to say you're really good at being a shark. And you're probably like, well, duh, obviously. So let me see, how can I break that down, the energy? It's like this, it's this, it feels like you are aware and you know this about yourself. So I don't know if I need to like really tread lightly, like if this will be offensive to you or not, because if when I'm in your energy, it feels like you know this about yourself. You know that you might, okay, I heard go-getter, so you might consider yourself a go-getter, but it's like a shark knows what they want. Sharks also have the reputation. I almost said repetition. So I don't know what that is, but the reputation of, I'm sorry, I'm just getting, it's like the messaging and the energy is slowly trickling in. It's like slow to come in. And I'm not really sure what that's about, but I'm going to go with it. But anyways, back to this shark analogy, what I was saying about the shark. Sharks have reputations for being, they don't have very good reputations. It's negative. They're like aggressive, vicious. You think about like Jaws and how they go after, I mean, it's a shark. It's what it does, but they're feared. And it's like you have elements of that when you go about whatever it is that you want. And it's like, but it's like you have some sense of morality, but you like teeter a fine line between like good, quote unquote, and bad, quote unquote. It's like if the wind blows just a little bit to the left, you're bad. Like, okay, that probably seems like so crazy because no one's like bad or good. Let me take that back because that's not how I want to explain it. It's just that it's like you're really close to, like you are a boundary pusher. You are a boundary pusher. And when it comes to, I want to say rebel, but it's not even, it's a boundary pusher. And it's a boundary pusher. It's like, how far can I push this? It's kind of, it's mischievous. It's a little bit mischievous. It kind of reminds me of like, the toddlers, the terrible twos, terrible three, when they're trying to like see how far, what the boundaries are, what their limits are, how far they can push the rules that their parents set in place. That's how this is kind of coming through, where it's like, I heard law-abiding citizen, but I'm not getting that you're a law-abiding citizen. It's like you push yes, you're a law-abiding citizen, but it's like you push, like the limits are pushed, or can be pushed. And it's like, but that's not it. That's not the core of who you are. That's not all of who you are. There's also this like good. It's I mean, I guess I can't tell if this is balanced. It's like, oh gosh, I don't even know how to describe this energy. It's not negative. It's not bad. It's not a like evil, sinister energy. It can be if you're not careful, if you're not aware of your actions and your choices and the consequences. If you just are so reckless and frivolous and impulsive, it can be. But it's like there's this is what I'm getting. It's like someone who has this fire, or, you know, let me, okay, this is the analogy that I'm getting. Let's say that there's someone, or you are someone that has an amazing singing voice. You're awesome at singing and you want to be a singer, but that's just not the way that your life went. You know, you are an accountant and you like being an accountant, and like, it's all cool, it's all good, it gets the job done, you like it, you're good at it, that's fine, but it's not enough, it's not fulfilling. Every now and then on the weekend, you got to sneak off to these like little shows where you can perform and like really ignite that fire within you to balance out like the mundanity of being an accountant. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that, except for you, it's not so bland as accountant and singing. It's like this fire inside. It's like boundary pushing. So in what that's going to be different for everybody, but it's like boundary pushing. Like how far can I push this? If it's an idea and someone's like, no, you can't do it, it's like, how far can we push this until it's like, all right, we have to stop because now it's going to be detrimental or whatever. It's like that type of energy. And that's like the shark element that I was trying to describe. It's not bad. It's not like, I mean, I'm not getting like murder from it or anything. It's just that it's just this like, I don't know, rebellious. It's like it's like, okay, our dichotomy, it's like a duality. It's like a dual nature that it needs to balance out. Like you can't be in this like I'm all good all the time energy, and you're definitely not a like I'm this, you know, hellion of a person. You're not that. It's like a good mix, a good balance of the two. And doing so confidently, where, you know, like, it's like, okay, so this idea that I mentioned before where, you know, people might say, no, you can't do that, it's not a good idea, blah, 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 whatever. And you're like, well, let me push the boundary. Like, you're confident. It's like your energy is confident in that, in how you navigate your own self and your own ideas, and this dichotomy and this need to express both sides of this duality. And there's no like, there's no rhyme or reason. I'm not getting that there's like it's as you have come up with a system that balances that out for you. So for some of you, that may just be like, as you it's intuitive. It's like as you feel it, okay, I need to express this self, and it may not even like be that clearly stated, you know. It could just be that you just feel it in your energy, and so you're like, you know what, I want to go to a concert, or you know what, I want to go do whatever. You know what I mean? Like, for some of you guys, it's like, okay, I have my work schedule that's 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, and my weekends are dedicated to being a boundary pusher. You know what I mean? So it's going to be different for you guys, but it's going to be different for you. Yeah, it's going to be different for you guys. I don't know why I'm like in this pile. I'm having a difficult time like piecing this together for words to flow out. It feels very like stopped and abrupt and choppy, and I feel like that might be an element that you deal with the people around you. It's like, I don't know, maybe you feel like you're cut off. Like what you want, the way that you want to express yourself is like people are constantly trying to cut it off, because they're not, if they don't understand duality or dichotomy, excuse me, or this element of needing balance, then this may be like disturbing. People might misunderstand this. You may also be another misunderstood pile. where it's like you have your system to balance you out so that you don't get so bored in regular life that you start doing reckless shit, and that but also so that you don't get too consumed in this boundary pushing activity, whatever it is, that it takes over your responsibilities. You have a process, a system of balance where you can express both sides, and that's wonderful. That's perfect, because that's how we are able to contain ourselves. That's how we're able to not get so pulled, because too much of anything is not good, even too much good, quote unquote. You know what I mean? You need to be able to express your shadow side, the darker sides of yourself. And let me be clear, dark doesn't mean evil. Dark is just your shadow sides of yourself. And feel free to look that up if you are curious to know more about that. I talk about it in my other videos and stuff. So if you've been following along, you probably have a pretty good idea. I don't want to spend too much time on that though. But so that's good. It's necessary to be able to come into balance with these sides of ourselves. With like your ego, your light side and your dark side, or like your ego and your soul. Like, does that make sense? Okay, so I hope that was clear. I feel so spacey, kind of tapping into your energy. I wonder if are you a person that smokes weed? I'm not judging, I'm just asking. That's what this energy feels like. Like, it's like intuitive and also kind of quote unquote spacey. But if you do smoke weed, like, I don't imagine that you would comment down below. I mean, you can, I'm not judging, but don't if you don't feel comfortable. But I can't imagine that you would, because I feel like that's something that might be another aspect that people might judge you. Like society says smoking weed is bad or whatever. And so it's like, you might not outwardly express that. You might do that like in your leisure time, like in your private, like at home or wherever, around like maybe a select few or people that you trust, but you're not, so this feels a little bit spacey. Yeah, so that your overall strength is your ability to balance out this dark and light energy, and it's in like contain, and it's like you express yourself in this direct go-getter shark-like way, but it's contained. It's not vicious, it's not aggressive, it's not ruthless. It's like the way that I can describe how the energy is expressing itself. It's like a shark has to eat. You know what I mean? So it's just that, just as natural as a human being has to eat as well. You know what I mean? Like when a human being is eating a chicken, no one is saying like, oh my God. Well, maybe someone is, but it's not like, oh my God, that human has brutally murdered a chicken to eat it for selfish gain. It's not like that. You know what I'm saying? Just like when you see a shark eating whatever the shark has to eat in the ocean, like that's what the shark does. So it's like that. It's not like overly aggressive. It's not like a shark going to shore and attacking humans. It's not that. It's a shark in the ocean eating the fish that it would regularly eat, and like that's expected. Is that clear? Can you let me know? I hope that example makes sense, because it totally does in my mind. And so I don't know. I feel so spacey, so I feel like what I'm saying, I don't know if it makes sense or not. So bear with me, pile 2. This might be, I don't know, a reading that's kind of all over the place. All right, so as far as your mental strength, you have 6 of Pentacles and ungrounded. To be honest with you though, like when I'm looking at these, I was like, that's why I think that your energy is also misunderstood, because at first it's like, are we talking about strengths here? You know what I mean? And that's why I said like this could be, if you're not self-aware, the way that I'm going to describe this may be a little offensive, because it's not going to be your typical strength of like, oh, well, you're great at boosting morale and you're great at, no, it's like your overall energy, you're great at being a shark. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's, someone might take that and be like, what? That's not a compliment. That's not a strength. But like, it is for you. It works for you because this is how you find your balance. This is your process. This is your ability to be able to express both sides of yourself. Okay, so your mental energy, you have 6 of Pentacles and ungrounded. Okay, so what I'm getting is like, these are coming through as like, this is your strength, but type of thing. You know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, this is a strength, but should it be? That's what it's coming through. Oh, okay. That's why I'm like, I don't know why this feels a little bit like it's not the type of reading that you would expect. It's coming through as like, yeah, this is a strength, but should it be? Like, should that be your strength? So you have 6 of Pentacles and ungrounded. And what I'm getting from this is like the way so this is your mental strength. What you give your mental energy to, it's like it's coming across very like strategic and like self-gain, and it's coming across I'm just getting a lot of sexual, like I think that the way that you think about how you can move forward in the world and make your mark and make your name is through like sexual endeavors. So you might be a person that wants to find the rich husband or wife, and seduce them with sex, or sexuality, sensuality. Like you might use your body a lot and like, oh, I'll give, it's like, oh, I'll give my body to get what I want to get. And it's not, it's like, this is like a distorted way of using your shark energy. Like you're good at it. It's a strength, but it's like, should it be though? Because you're the shark. So like you have the ability to balance out this energy, and you can use your mental energy in a way that you don't have to like compromise your dignity, your sense of self, your sense of worthiness, your sense of belonging. You don't have to, like, you're not that, it's a very disposable, is what I just heard. It's very disposable, the way that you are offering up yourself in exchange for something. It's like you're making yourself disposable. Okay, another word, what came through just now? It's like you're making yourself disposable. You're minimizing your value. And it's like, it's not grounded. It's not grounded because I think you have a distorted sense of self. You may identify as a female. I'm just getting like man-eater energy. And it may not be as overt as that. It may not be as overt as that. It could be something that's more along the lines of like, like, I just want to marry a rich man and blah, 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 blah. Or it could be something as overt as like, that man is rich, I want to go after him and like seduce him with sex. It could be like so strategic and calculated as that. And like suck him dry for all he's worth and then kick him to the curb, or keep him around to be my little like pawn. Like, it could be as sinister as that even. This is gonna happen on a scale, obviously. So this feels like this is such a gradient reading, because now I'm getting energy that's a little more like not good. It's a little more like intentionally malicious. Which is totally not what I was expecting for this. What are your strengths? So, okay, let's keep going. So for your emotional strength, you have the Empress and secretive. I'm sorry, I'm just I'm gonna clear out this energy because I don't like it. I'm just wondering, Pile 2, because I've picked up on your energy before, and this is the energy that I'm just wondering if you can let me know down in the comments, what exactly is it that you are coming to my page for? Because I don't get that you are coming to my page with the best energy and even the best intentions. I get that you're coming to be sneaky and malicious and get information on other people, or like for your own nasty gain. And I'm just wondering what it is that you're looking for, what it is that you think that I can provide for you, what it is that you're trying to see. Because are you trying to really grow and evolve? Are you really trying to are you really trying to like evolve and reach enlightenment and unblock these blockages that you have that has you in this state, in this space of it's like more dark energy than light? Are you really trying to come back into balance, or are you coming here for another purpose? Are you just trying to like be manipulative and get information on someone so you can continue down this path? Because I'm just wondering why you keep coming back to my channel, and how I can help you. What it is that you think that I can do to help you. I'm going to continue reading this spread. But I just want to say, like, what's coming through, this is not a strength, quote unquote. These are not strengths, quote unquote, that I would necessarily be proud of. And so that's, something to consider. So I'm going to go ahead and go through this, and I'm going to wrap this up for you. So your spiritual strength, you have, did I even talk about your emotional strength? Your emotional strength, what I have here is that you play on you're really good at playing people's emotion, being very manipulative. And this is kind of giving me like narcissistic, you're really good at playing on people's emotions, manipulating him. I heard love bomb and coddling, like, okay, I heard playing the victim. Yeah. Okay. So that is your emotional strength, and you initiate that too. Like you initiate it. Like you go. It's like it's kind of it's predatory. It's like you go after these people. It's ugh. Okay. Anyways, your spiritual strength. I don't even know how this would be a strength, but it's like the jealousy that you experience from seeing someone else take on a new passion project or something like that is like ignites this competitive nature in you, which then you're like, well, I want to do that. And whether it's authentic or not, it's like, I don't know, it's like this jealous spark is what it's the competition that ignites this like desire to want to do and specifically connect with spirituality. And I'm also getting like ancestral, like you might have some there might have been a situation of jealousy that sparked some sort of interest, some sort of competitive, like, so for example, well, never mind, spirit said don't say that, but where you know, like want to connect with your ancestors or your ancestral lineage and see what type of like magic that they did, or what in your lineage, like witchcraft or voodoo or hoodoo or whatever is in your whatever your lineage is. Those are just like what I can think of off the top of my head. So like something about that, like there's a jealous streak that you had that triggered some sort of competition with someone, like myself, like maybe you've seen, like when I say like myself, I mean like what I'm doing now, connecting with spirit, the way that I have these intuitive gifts and being able to read tarot and channel and all of that stuff. It's like something, seeing that, you witnessed that, and that sparked a competitive nature in you, and so now you want to do it for the jealousy, for the competition, not for the authentic connection, but it ignited that. And I don't know how that's a strength, and so I honestly don't want to spend too much time on this pile because I just don't get really good energy from this. I'm gonna move on. So all right, your relational strength. I'm getting victim energy again. It's like you're really good at, like, I heard woe is me. Like it's I don't know, I'm just getting really like victim energy. Like a damsel in distress, like I need help. And it's not, but it's not, it's like you, it's like pretending to not know how to do better. Like you can, if you can be this mastermind, emotionally manipulative shark of a person, you can certainly fend for yourself, or whatever it is that, you know, you're like, oh, I can't do this by myself. Like, yes, you can, but you're playing, but you like, it's like the way that you present is like, damsel in distress, like I'm helpless, and you're good at it. People believe somehow, like people around you believe you. The people that you've gotten in relationships with, they believe you and they cater to that. And so like you do a good job at being this person. I just want to say, like, karma's a real thing. So, I mean, I'm not here to tell you how to move forward or not move forward. That's for you to communicate with your own guidance or whatever your, avenue is for that. Yeah, so that's what I'm getting. Your strengths are that you are really good at being a shark and going after what you want, like directly and without any like deterrent. And the way that you do that is by using manipulation, emotional manipulation in general, competition, jealousy, playing the victim, and a non-reciprocal exchange. It's an imbalanced interaction between you and the people that you exchange energy with. So that is what I have for you, pile 2. I know that was probably not the reading that you were expecting, but it's the reading that you needed to hear. And if spirit gives it to me, then I'm going to give it to you straight, direct, just like that. But I hope it did serve. So if it did, please like, comment, and I don't know that I want to say subscribe to my channel, to be honest with you, because this energy is very manipulative and I don't want anything to do with it. So unless you're coming to my channel to really truly look at yourself and help to like be a better you, then please approach my channel in that energy. But if you're coming through being manipulative and sneaky, like this energy is coming through, I don't want it. But if you feel like this might benefit someone else, please feel free to share it. Although I don't even know who's around you, so I'm not sure if that's a good idea. And I know this is coming off really judgmental. I can only be me. So, thank you so much for visiting my channel, Pile 2. That is what I have for you. And maybe I will see you in a future video. Bye. Pile number 3. Your energy is funny to me. not in a patronizing way. You kind of have this like, I'm coming in here to fuck shit up kind of energy. Not in a destructive way though. Like, bear with me. Let me explain what I mean. The way that you approach things, you actually are coming through as like a light worker, someone that's able to transmute energy and raise the vibration of a situation, a relationship, an environment, a community, a group, whatever, wherever your energy is. And the way that it happens is it's kind of like this. Okay, so the song that you have, it says unapologetic when we fuck up. Can I say that? Unapologetic when we fuck up the night. We getting fucked up tonight. We gonna fuck up the night, right? Okay, so I'm sure you guys probably have heard that song. And then you have the hyena, and then you have the peace, and you have peaceful. When you think of the hyena, you think about like how mischievous the hyena is. The hyena operates at night. You know what I mean? When everything is shutting down, it's kind of unsuspecting, and I keep seeing the hyenas from what the heck is that, Lion King, and not that that's your energy, that's just what I'm thinking of, but you know how they're just kind of like destructive. Your energy, though, is destructive in the way that it tears down foundations and belief systems and structures that's not beneficial, that does not serve the greater good for an individual or for the collective. And so how does that happen? Well, through each of these individual strengths, and I'm going to explain them to you. So your overall strength is your ability to break foundations, and not to dismantle belief systems and foundations and structures that they don't serve either the person that's abiding by them, the community, whatever. And this could be in an individual one-on-one romantic relationship, this can be in family dynamics, this can be in friendships, or this can be even just through how you express yourself and vocalize yourself. Say, for example, on like platforms like social media, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, like on a broader scale. So that's your overall strength. But so this is going to give more detail to that. So, okay, your mental strength. You have 9 of Swords and open. And so what I'm getting is that, like, you are open about, so first of all, you have a process. When you go through any type of like hardship that really impacts your mental health, you have a process to work through that, to transmute that for yourself. So you may be in a situation, and your initial reaction, if this is a newer situation that's uncomfortable, your initial reaction may be, not the highest vibrational. It could be like, oh, this sucks, or you might have a hard time seeing it from like how the lesson of it, like how this serves. But you have a process where you go through that so that you can transmute that and then have a higher understanding. And then whatever you get from that, I heard discord, whatever you get from that discord, you're able to process that and then outwardly express that through a communication of some sort. So whether that's direct communication between you and another person, or whether that's communicating in a broader scale, like in a family or in a community or in a group of friends or whatever, on a platform, or whether that is like writing it out. Maybe you write in a journal or whatever. You have a way of being able to express that and share that wisdom, that enlightenment, the way that you've transmuted whatever that situation is, and express it so that the next person that is dealing with that, they have that as a reference point to help also adjust their perspective, so that they can then begin to interact. They can then learn to transmute their own energy so that they can interact with these situations from a higher perspective, a higher vibration, the way that you have. And this is a thing, like this is like, okay, so I'm getting, this is divinely guided, but it's coming through as like masterful energy here. I'm like, it is like you really just illuminate situations. It's like, okay, so I'm seeing like someone in I want to call it a dungeon. I don't know. It's like a well of some sort, and it's really dark. And they're stuck in there. They're like, I don't know how to get it. This is a metaphor, but it's like, I don't know how to get out of this. And then you are able to shine the light. And then when you shine that light, then they can see like, oh, there are stairs in here. You know what I mean? And then like, so it helps to like ignite their light. I don't feel like I'm not explaining this well. You just have a way of being able to transmute. Hold on, my thing is about to go out. And I don't want it to. Hold on, you guys, I'm sorry. trying to reignite my incense without blowing all the ash everywhere. It's like that. It's like what I'm doing. Like, you have this way of reigniting incense, like getting those little embers to reignite so it can start a full-on flame within other people. And that they can then begin to, the energy that they are absorbing in, that they are receiving, because we are taking in energy all the time. Some people have the ability to transmute and process that and put out a different energy. Some people take it in and they hold on to it, and then it's not, you know what I mean? Like, they can't, consumes them. And then that's how they start to get taken over by, like shadow elements and projections of other people and things like that. You have a way of igniting these little like embers within people to reignite their flame. And you do that through some means of communication, and not only some means of communication, but communicating from being open about, like, communicating from a space of your experiences, the hardships, you know, where someone might say like, oh yeah, I have this experience, and they might think like you cannot relate, of all people, but it's like you can, because you have these experiences. And and the thing is, like, you may not necessarily even express all of your deep traumas or whatever like readily all the time. Some of that stuff is personal, but even I'm getting really like on a lot of like more intimate, personal, one-on-one type relationships and communications, you can express in a deeper way that helps a person feel seen, and also helps a person where it's like, wow, you went through that, you the viewer, like, wow, you went through that and you were able to transmute that and you were able to have this higher understanding. Okay, so then I can work through this, and I can, you know, get to a point where I can do that same thing as well. Like, that's the inspiration that you give to people because of your openness and how you are able to mentally digest, is what I heard. Okay, mentally digest. I don't know how to expound on that, but however you're able to mentally digest your situations and then spit it out in a way that is, I heard, coherent and cohesive for other people to receive, so that they can then apply it in their own situation, their own scenario, to then transmute. And then that's the ripple effect. I heard each one teach one. That's the ripple effect. So then now that person is doing that. So now the two of you guys are doing that. And then let's say now you two come across two other people. Now there's 4. And then the 4 of you come across one person each. Now there's 8, and it multiplies. And then that's how we're able to just the collective, and that's how we're able to raise the vibration and the energy and transmute energy in like family dynamics, or just, again, community groups, or even just on a grander collective scale. So yeah, that's your mental strength, which is incredible if you ask me. Okay, your emotional strength. So I'm getting, you are heavily reflective in your emotions. And I'm also, water might be significant to you. Water, sky, nature in general, but I'm definitely getting like water and sky, and, being like in solitude in nature. I mean, you don't have to like hardcore isolate and be a hermit 100% of times, but I do get that you like to like be out, kind of just in your element in nature. You might be a person that likes to stargaze, or even just sit out by like a lake or a river or a stream or the beach and watch the water. That type of thing. And something about water and nature, there's like an element, it connects you to your creativity and it connects you to your emotions, and the two of those are intertwined. So because you're able to connect to it's like being in nature helps you to connect to your emotions, and then connecting to your emotions helps you to create. It helps you to tap into your creativity. And that is your emotional strength. It's like your strength is your emotion is your strength. Your emotion is, all right, I'm gonna have to, if this goes out, it just goes out because it's getting a little aggressive now. It's like your emotion is your strength, and in that emotion you are able to express creatively. So if that emotion is anger or fear or sadness, you can express creatively in whatever way that shows up. Whether I'm like, you might like painting. I'm seeing like painting. You might do like, I'm seeing a dancer, so you might be a choreographer, or like what is that called when you do when it's like it's I think it's like emotional dancing or expressive dancing or something, where you like, okay, I think that maybe that makes sense. But like, so you might be a dancer. You also might create like life. So you have like a garden of flowers or of vegetables, fruit. You could plant, you could have a green thumb. That's a way that you can create. I'm okay. Sorry. You might be a songwriter. Okay. I'm also getting that your connectivity to your emotionality and your creativity is also what connects you to your intuition. You might be a heavy meditator. You might be like a really prolific meditator. Like, I mean, out of body experience type of meditation. Like when you come back for meditation, it might take you a minute to, you might actually even also in your sleep, astral travel. And so when you wake up, like it might take you a minute to kind of get it together and get like back into your body. I could totally relate to that. I think that you also connect really strongly with your emotion, with like intimacy and expressing yourself creatively through that. You could be a sensual person, like you like touch, smell, sound. It's beautiful, like looking at things that are, you know, beautiful or artistic, creative, aesthetic, whatever. Tasting foods, like I'm just getting that you're like a really sensual person. Something maybe even with your hands, like I'm like getting like you might be a person that likes physical touch, is a love language. This is all just coming through. So I mean, this all contributes to your creative energy, though, your emotional strength. Something about flowers is coming through. I don't know. Do you guard it? It may be the color pink too. Okay, so I just heard, maybe, do you want a baby? Or if you're a female, are you pregnant? Or even if you're a male and you're, you know, are you got somebody having a baby girl? I'm getting that. So let me know below if that's a thing, if you want to share. You might be creating a child right now, or in the process of trying to, and you may want a little girl, or you might be pregnant with a little girl right now, which if you are, congratulations. Pink is really heavily is really coming through very, very strongly. Oh, okay. So I'm getting, this is like an emotional thing. I'm getting that this is like this is a long time coming. Like you wanted this. You've been, you know, like really working towards this and preparing for this and planning for this and praying for this and trying for this. So, wow, that's huge. Oh, that's making me a little emotional. That's amazing. Congratulations to whoever that is. Okay, so those were some side messages. Okay, so let's move on though. There's some, I'm sorry. I was saying let's move on, and Spirit stopped me because there's something else. I heard you're at peace. Something about a loved one that has passed is coming through, and oh, you know what? Okay, I think through your emotions, you're able to connect to a loved one in the spiritual realm, because I was hardcore getting like, when I was saying that you're a prolific meditator, I was just hardcore getting this like very spiritual, heavy, like in the spirit realm energy. Something about that. Let me know if that resonates for you guys, please. Something about a loved one that passed and that being connected to a baby girl that I don't know. I'm not sure, but I don't want to dig too much. I don't want to spend, but something about this situation. It's like it feels very full circle. And peace, like peace, I'm at peace, peaceful, peace, serenity, that just keeps coming through. I heard heart happy. Okay. All right, so let me move on now to your spiritual strength. So you have the Two of Cups here and fearful, and what I'm getting is that you have you are able to, the way that you connect with the divine, the way, or God, the universe, source, whatever your higher power is, or whatever whatever term you want to use, the way that you connect to your own spirituality, your own belief system, and the way that you express yourself, the way that you light up, the way that it impacts you, and the way that that shows in how you interact with the world and the people around you, it's so inspiring. It's so inspiring. And it's like the fear that comes from distorted religion, distorted religious views, going back to the whole, heaven and hell concept, and if you do this, you're a sinner, and if you're a sinner, you're going to hell, and blah, blah, blah. Like the fear that comes from that, you have a way of like breaking that down. Did I say that? That's what I was saying. Yeah, like that, exactly. So like, it's like you come in here, it's back to this whole, like, when I was saying you have this energy of like, we're gonna fuck it up. It's like any of these belief systems, or systems in general, any of these systems that just are not serving for the greater good, that's just hindering, and I heard fear-mongering, like any of these systems that's down that path, that's down that avenue, you're like, nah, Lewis, we're gonna pulverize, bust through that, and break that down so we can see the truth of what it is and build on a more secure, peaceful, holistic, open, creative foundation. One that empowers us to connect to our own inner God. You know what I mean? To connect to the divine, to connect to infinite wisdom is what I heard. And it doesn't have to be fear-based. And that's your spiritual strength. The way that you connect to and relate to your spirituality, and the way that you put that out in the world, it anyone that might have had fear, because I'm just getting that you are a non-traditional person in that way. Well, in a lot of ways, but you're non-traditional, especially when it comes to your spiritual beliefs. And where how you practice or the way that you express your beliefs and what you believe, others might look at as like, that's a thing to be feared because that's what they were taught. The way that you present it, it's like, there's not anything fearful about. There's nothing malicious. Like, this is actually really helpful. This is really beneficial. It's reminding me honestly of like my own personal like dynamics, and like my relationship with tarot and my relationship with spirit, my relationship with the divine, my relationship with like witchcraft or witchy type things. What I'm doing here is not malicious. There's never that intention. It's always to help others gain this same type of connection and experience. Not when I say the same type of connection, I don't mean like it has to be identical to mine. But what I mean is like the way that I am able to connect in a way that is comfortable for me and it doesn't make me feel judged or shamed or anything like that. Like helping other people find that opportunity by looking into their self and seeing, first of all, what are the limiting beliefs. Like this, you know what I mean? This is not malicious. So it reminds me of that. Like you have that type of energy, or your relationship with spirit. It's this type of dynamic that when people come across, it's like, oh, this isn't bad. This isn't malicious. Like, this isn't messy, or this is healing. It's whole. It's helpful. It's uplifting. It's high vibrational. It's direct. It's clear. It's honest. There's integrity there. And that's your spiritual strength, which is beautiful, man. There's a certain element of fearlessness too with that you have to overcome to be able to express it in this way. And that's a part of your strength. And not only that, but it's like there's this just poise and I don't know, this like softness and gentleness and poise about you in this arena. Okay, so for your relational strengths, you are a person that is able to, okay, I heard cut through the bullshit, but when it comes to situations where people are typically used to being combative or talking over each other or yelling, or just it's not productive conversation, because maybe let's say people are just talking at each other instead of to each other, or speaking over each other, or they're speaking not to understand but they're speaking to respond. In those situations, you are able to chop that down and transform that. This is Death card is all about transfer. That's Scorpio energy right there. And Scorpio will go to the depth. Scorpio is intense. Scorpio is intuitive as hell. Scorpios are human lie detectors. Like they cut through the bullshit, and that's what you do. And it's like this bravado that you are projecting outward it's not whatever you think that it's trying to accomplish in a conversation. It's not. Like that's your energy. That's how you would respond to that type of situation. And so you're able to, and not in a way that's, you're not like, whatever you did. You don't do that. You don't meet people at that level. You maintain, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, let me try to, I see that there's this bravado here, and that's not the truth of what you're trying to express. So let's shove that to the side, because that's not being productive. And it's not benefiting this conversation. What is it that you really want to say? Be direct, be honest. You know what I mean? Like, I can handle it. I'm an adult. I'm a big girl or a big guy. What is it that you're trying to say? Okay, now let's discuss that. Let's talk about that topic and work through that. That's your energy. When it comes to the yelling and talking over others, you don't like that. You don't engage in that. You're like, that's not productive at all. So I disengage. When you're ready to have a conversation and really be honest and truthful about your needs and what you want or what the issue is, oftentimes it comes down to needs, unmet needs needs. It comes down to needs. So when you want to have that conversation, then we can have that conversation. Also, another part of this strength in your relationship is that in these type of communications, you understand too that when people do come from that reactive point, it's not anything to take personal, because it is generally an unmet need that person is having a hard time expressing or asking for. And so because that need is going unmet, it sometimes it comes out as it's being lashing out. So it's like you don't take that personal. Also, though, you are aware that you'll acknowledge that and say, okay, listen, I'm not going to take that personal. I see this as a situation. And then you can work through that with them. But also, like, give grace, but also have boundaries where it's like, okay, this is making me uncomfortable, and I know that this is something that you still have to work through. So I'm going to give you grace, but this cannot go on forever. This yelling and lashing out, like, we need to let's talk about what you would feel comfortable, how comfortable you would be with what type of process to help you to remember how to like calm down in that situation, and when you feel would be the best time to have the conversation. How would you feel most comfortable speaking up on your needs? Like, that's your approach. You ask those kind of questions. That's that Scorpio, that like, let's go deep, let's talk about it, let's ask the questions, let's uncover. There's no need for shame. This is how we can be one, cope, and like be a team, because I'm gonna come to you and tell you, like, this is what I need, and can you provide? And I'm not, it's just, that's communication. It's healthy communication. You understand that, and that is your strength in relationships. That is your strength in relationships, in any kind of relationship. Literally in any kind of relationship. I'm not even getting it as like a romantic relationship, although it's included in that too. The reason why I'm saying that is because I'm just getting that you because this is such a strength of yours, I just get that Spirit sends you these type of people often so that you can show them, not in a, okay, let's sit down, open your books and let me not like that, but just so that you can reflect to them in your energy and in the way that you communicate to them what is the proper way to communicate. You get what I'm saying? So it's not anything that's like super strategic. It's just that's your way of being. And so you encounter a lot of people that may be passionate and reactive in their expressions when their needs are unmet. Yep. That is what I have for you, Pile 3. That is what I have for you. So I hope that made sense when I went through these different avenues to explain your overall energy of how you like come to fuck. I just keep hearing, I'm gonna fuck shit up. I feel like that's from a movie. We came to fuck shit up. Is that from Step Brothers? I don't know. I'm seeing the guy. I'm not sure. Can somebody let me know? I mean, you don't have to. I can look it up. But anyways, I hope that makes sense when I was explaining like your overall energy of we're going to fuck shit up, because it's not like in a destructive way, the way that it might sound if someone first hears that. It's more like, no, we're going to break down these structures that were built on this unstable and unrealistic and untruthful foundation that's not serving, and it's actually hindering and limiting. And then we're gonna like chop up all that, turn it into dust, and then we're gonna create new bricks, and we're gonna set solid foundation with concrete or brick or whatever, I don't know, obviously, and we're gonna build it on like truths and habits that are healthy and self-aware and so on and so forth. And so that's so great. I love that for you. I love that. Congratulations, Pile 3. What amazing strengths. Thank you for being you and bringing your energy into this world. I think it's phenomenal. And I hope that this message has served and helped you to feel seen and just kind of remind you of why you are great. That was the point of this. If it did, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. If you think someone else would benefit from this reading, please feel free to share. If you have returned from a past video, I want to say thank you so much for coming back. And if this is your first time here, I hope to see you in a future video. Thank you, Pile 3. Bye. number 4. Let me tell you something. If ever I try to assert my own will in these readings, Spirit's like, no, ma'am. So I was shuffling to get the chakra card for your overall energy, and I saw this one come out, and I was like, I don't think so. I don't think that that's what that is. So I put it back in, and I started shuffling again, and then I felt bad because I was like, darn it. Well, if that was, I don't want to, you know what I mean, like ever try to change a message. So of course Spirit's like, you can't, and then boom, this one flips out again. So I don't know, I just find that really comical. Maybe that might mean something for you, but all right, so let's get into it. What are your strengths? The song that you have here is I had a one-way ticket to a place where all the demons go, where the wind don't change and nothing in the ground could ever grow. No hope, just lies. You're taught to cry in your pillow, but I survived. Oh my God, was my hair in that? I'm sorry if I leaned over and it was in the way. So this is Alive by Sia. I highly suggest that you listen to that song. It's a really good song, and the reason why I'm saying that is because you also had Depressed come out with The Elephant, and I'll give you the full capture of this message, but I'm just getting that there was a bout of depression or bouts of depression that you go through, that you have been through throughout your life, and that is a part of where your strength is coming from, and being able to pull yourself out of that and using your intuition, your intuitive guidance in that way, and your own inner fire, your own inner resource, your own inner light, your own inner wealth to be able to pull yourself out of that. So this song is that is what this song is. Let me just read that again. I had a one-way ticket to a place where all the demons go, where the wind don't change and nothing in the ground could ever grow. No hope, just lies, and you're taught to cry in your pillow. But I survived. And she's like, I'm still breathing. I'm still breathing. I'm still breathing. I'm alive. So you might have experienced some thoughts of self-harm. I want to be careful about what I can say. I'm not really sure, and I don't want to be a rebel for rebel's sake. So self-harm to the point of not surviving, you know? So, this is your strength, being able to pull through those energies, because so now Spirit is giving me, I don't know her personally. I did not follow her story, but she was a writer for a show, and I cannot remember the show. But she took her life. And so the reason why that is coming through is because sometimes we get into these phases, and for you particularly, like where it felt like it would be the easier thing to do to take your own life, but you pull yourself out of that. And I'm getting that you might have had that experience several moments in your life throughout your lifetime, like at several points in your life where you're just ready to like give up. But something intuitively, whether you can articulate what that is or not, maybe in retrospect, I heard hindsight is 20/20, so maybe looking back you might be able to clearly explain it and elaborate, but in the moment sometimes it's like there's putting words to what is even giving you the motivation to continue to keep going it's like, I don't even know. What are words? You know, in the moment, that's how you are, but you're somehow able to pick yourself up and keep going. Because I'm getting like the things that would usually be enough for anyone on the outside who's not experiencing this, the things that people could say, well, oh, you know, you have this to look forward to or whatever. It's like, if you've never been in this situation, then you would not understand how it seems like it would be like it's enough, but it's not. And I'm getting specifically like, if maybe you're a person with children, you know, where it might be easy for people to say, oh, well, you have your children to look forward to. And it's like, if you've never been in this situation, if you've never felt the way that you felt, it might be easy to say that would be a thing to keep you moving. But when you're in that moment, when you're in that in that space, you know, like, that it's not enough. And that's not to say your child is not enough. It's just, that is not enough in that moment. And that's real. I mean, that's real. I can totally understand that. I can totally relate to that. And that is the reason why that's coming up, is because it's like when you have gotten to that point of recognizing that you're like, there's nothing, I'm ready to just end it all, but you are able to come through and pull yourself up by connecting with your inner light through your intuition, in whatever way that is. So if that's journaling, or if that's meditating, if that is your psychic gifts and you're, getting visions and you're following that. I saw scrying. So maybe if you scry, or you go to someone who scries for you, there's some way that you connect. Okay, prayer. There's some way that you connect to the divine creator and the source, the universe, to get whatever it is that you need to be able to, like, slowly pull you up. And it's not a quick process. It takes some time, and that's the strength. The perseverance. I heard resilience. The perseverance and the resilience through that. Because what I'm getting is that these moments where you get to this point of this depression, it's heavy stuff. It's not, it's not just light, silly stuff. This is like real life traumas that you had to work through, that if ever there was a reason to end one's life, like, if there was ever a scale where it's like, this would be an acceptable reason to, and this would not be, like, you have experienced the acceptable reason, if that makes sense, but you pulled yourself out of it. And that is your strength, which I want to say, like, it's moving me. Like, that's huge. That is tremendous. And I hope that you recognize that as such, like, that is a strength. And that probably feels like a blessing and a curse. You know what I mean? Like, gosh, why does that have to be my strength, that I can pull myself out of this depression? Like, why do I even have to get to this point of depressiveness? Like, I dig it. I mean, that is, I can't answer that question for you personally, me, Aaliyah. I mean, I could probably, speak to spirit and whatever, but it's going to be different for everyone. So that's not even, a route that I don't want to go that deep with that, but I just want to commend you. That's huge. That's really huge. And I know that that's so difficult. So kudos to you for being able to pull yourself out repeatedly. All right. So what I have here for your mental strengths, you have, this is a part, what I'm getting though, I didn't realize this, but it's like, these are the supporting, well, Dahlia, these are the supporting areas of strength that, cumulative, it amounts to this. So your mental strength, you have justice and isolated. And what I'm getting is that you're a person where if you're in a situation of difficulty, you're not quick to just run to every and anyone to say, well, what do you think I should do about this situation? You're more of a person that likes to pull away and sit with yourself. And I'm getting sit with spirit and really work through and kind of swish it around in your mouth and figure out, like, well, that sounds really gross, but you like to, like, you know what I mean? Kind of swish it around and see, like, how you feel about a situation first. And then once you come to your own, once you've isolated and you've pulled your energy back into yourself, and you can decide how you feel and which direction you want to, intuitively connecting to spirit, connecting to your guides, connecting to the divine, connecting in whatever way that to your inner light to be able to guide you, to navigate you, you do that. And then after that, if you feel it necessary, or if you want to, then you might bring it to someone else and say, hey, this is the situation and this is what I thought, what do you think? You might do that, but you definitely more prefer to just isolate and find the balance and the like weigh up the situation on your own and with the divine. Okay, and so I'm getting like in situations where even like maybe there was a wrongdoing towards you, instead of being reactionary, like you would pull away and like weigh it up, and because it's you don't want to approach it from emotions. You want to understand, like, you understand that humans are humans and they have emotions and it's distorted and blah 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 and all this stuff, and just like the same way that you can have a bad day and inappropriately express, you are aware that other people can have that too. And so you like to pull away to be able to see things from a perspective that is not punishing but more understanding and compassionate. But you don't want to be manipulated or blindsided by going to the person. Let's say someone like aggressively verbally attacked you. You don't want to go to that person and, you know, like kind of like plead to them, and because that person can then be manipulative and like, you know, their own, whatever, it's like that, they could be an unnecessary influence. On the other hand, you also don't want to go to, you know, somebody else who wasn't involved, because then they're just projecting their own opinions. Like, you just want to sit with your own energy. You don't want anybody else to tell you how you feel about this situation, or to taint that expectation, because you know that the ultimate wisdom is divine wisdom, and that's infinite. So you would rather isolate and connect to spirit and get that wisdom that way, and then make your move in a fair, just, balanced way. Because you never have the intentions. You don't want to do anything. You don't want to do anything reactive or anything that's punitive or like karma. You don't want to send negative energy to anyone. Yes, you're a human being, and sometimes you may have those reactions, and like, you know, we're not here to comment on that though right now. It's just, there's nothing to comment on. It's just what it is. You're human. But that's your mental strength, is being able to isolate you, to pull, not isolate, but to pull your energy back into yourself. Even if that's just for like a half a day or 30 minutes or a day or whatever. It's just to pull your energy back into yourself so that you can center and figure out how you feel about the situation, gain some wisdom, a higher perspective, and then approach it from that instead of from your ego or from your shadow self. Yes, okay. Gosh, that took me a long time to like do that. So that's your mental strength, is your ability to pull your energy back into yourself so that you are not thinking through a situation to come to a decision based on your ego or based on your shadow. You want to do it from a higher vibrational place, a higher place of wisdom, a higher perspective, from your higher self, your soul self. And that's your strength. And it works really well. It works really well because, it works really well for you because it then invites that person in that situation to respond in that same way, to increase, it calls other people up. It invites them to raise their vibration, to raise their perspective, to raise their self-awareness and their way of interacting in a way that is healthy and reciprocal, balanced, fair, just. So yeah, you might trigger a lot of people's insecurities in that way, but that's not your responsibility. That's not for you to take on. That may have been a part of some of the things that you've taken on before that's contributed to this depressiveness that you might have experienced, because you might have internalized and personalized, you know, when people are triggered and they lash out on you and they say whatever, do whatever, you know. But I think that you're coming out of that and you're understanding now, like, people are just people, and that's their own projection. So as far as your emotional strength, I started to I felt so in awe of this energy when the card first came out. But you have the full and loving and compassionate. It's such innocent energy. It's like childlike. You know how like babies or toddlers, children, young children, it's like they don't know negativity. They don't know bad. They're so innocent. Like, they don't know anything about they just love, you know what I mean? They see people, they see their energy. Children most definitely operate in energy, and then it's society that comes through and pulls them away from connecting with their energy, and then it's like connect with these societal beliefs, and this is what's appropriate and this is what not, and that's how people get disconnected from their intuition. That's how people get disconnected from their self, and then that's what people are talk about when they say the journey to find yourself. It's getting back to that childlike innocence. That is the authentic core of who we are when we first come into this world, and that's what we end up growing away from because of society and conditionings. But then that's the journey of spiritual awakening, is journeying back to that sense of self, that innocent, authentic self that we are as beings. And that is what your energy is emotionally. It's like, it's so loving and so compassionate, and it's so open, and it's like, it's okay. So I'm seeing Dory. You know how Dory has a short-term memory, and so it's like when something bad happens, you know, she might, you know, feel a way or have a comment about it or whatever in the moment, and then after a few minutes she's just like, oh, hey there, like, what's your name? You know, like, that's your energy. And not to say that you have terrible memory, or even to, you know, like, minimize that, because I'm not trying to. It's what, in my opinion, like, it's great. It's wonderful. It's a strength, because it's forgiveness. It is the understanding that we are people and humans, and we're not ever just one thing all of the time. So yes, if I have a bad day and I'm reacting in that way, and then we separate and you realize, like me, okay, so let's say you are interacting with me and I'm having a bad day and I react in a way that's like less than great or whatever. It's like your energy, you're able to understand that I'm a human being, and as long as I can, you know, be accountable for myself and recognize, and then make whatever adjustments I need to or talk it out or whatever it is, to be able to move forward, you're willing to do that, as long as it's healthy and the work is going in and it's genuine and it's moving in a direction of positivity and of life, of vitality, of uplifting, of growth, healing. You know what I mean? It's like, if it's not going to be conducive to healing, then I don't want it. But for you, you understand that people have expressions, and as they work through their own healing journey, there are wounds that are going to be irritated, that's going to create reactions. And so you can see that for what it is, and it's like, okay, if you need a minute to process that, whatever, and then you come back and you apologize and we talk through, okay, cool, no problem, so we can move forward. I'm not going to hold that against you. That's your energy. Like, it's like fresh start energy, and it's loving and compassionate, and it's just so like forgiving, and it's making me a little bit emotional. It's so genuine. It's so sincere. It's so sweet. It is the energy. Okay, so what I heard is like the energy for sinners. And what that means is, it's like this forgiveness energy, man. The people that are the hardest on their self for whatever it is that they think that they've done so wrong, that's unforgivable. And I'm not here to judge what that is. I don't even know. I'm not. But it's like, your energy is the energy that would be validating, that would be like the forgiveness. It's like, if they had your forgiveness, then it's like, you know, almost equivalent to, because your energy in your emotion, the way you interact, and then, you know, in your emotional strength, because your energy is so pure, it's so genuine, it's so loving, it's so compassionate, it is like such divine energy. It's almost like a person getting forgiveness directly from the divine. Now let me be clear, I said almost. I'm not saying that you are the divine, but it's like, that's how someone might interpret that, where it's like, because your energy is so pure, and because you are so connected to this authenticity, to divine creation in that way, this purity, it's like, if you can forgive, then it must be worth forgiving. You know, that's beautiful. That's lovely. So your spiritual strength, what I have here is the 10 of Pentacles and manipulative. And a manipulative is not coming through in the way that it's commonly associated with malintention. But what I'm getting is that it is you are a manifester. Like, you are a master manifester, and maybe you might not have seen the material goods right now, but I'm just getting that things around you move in, not in a literal sense, but things around you move to your will, and at various speeds, because, you know, divine timing is still a thing, but like, you have such a connection with, we are all divine creators. We are all part of that. We all have the ability to create. And your connection, it's like, okay, I heard what goes around comes around. It's like, it just is effortless. It just is around you. It's like it's like I'm getting a whirlpool, not in a gross, what's the word? Not in a way that's like selfish or greedy. Not in a way that's greedy. It's just like, you have the ability to attract and to move. Like, you. And okay, so what I'm getting is like, the reason why you are such a master manifester is because you're not so rigid and stringent in how whatever it is that you're manifesting needs to show up. You know, so you're not like, I'm going to manifest this specific house at this specific lot of this specific city of this specific state, and it's going to be this specific color and this da-da-da. You can, but when you have such rigidity in manifesting, that either delays it, prolongs it, or it's like, you're not going to get it. You know what I mean? Like, there needs to be a flow, an element of openness and flexibility, and you have the ability to do that. And so you're able to manipulate energy to attract. I manifest, and that's great. You are definitely a divine creator. You are definitely a divine creator. So your relational strengths. And then I feel like this is getting a little long, so I'm going to wrap this up. But your relational strengths, what I have here is you have judgment and over analytical. And so in this, what I'm getting, I wanted to say too that you might, this is super long in here, but you might have also been drawn to pile 1, because 3 of these 4 cards are the same as it was in pile 1. They're just in different orders. So, and I don't remember, I recorded pile 1 yesterday, so I honestly don't even remember what the messaging was for pile 1, but if you felt drawn to that, feel free to check that out also. Okay, so your relational strength, what I have here is, this one is a little trickier to explain, because this one could be, this one may not be readily identified as a strength. But it's your ability to be able to see through situations further than surface value, surface level, and to call judgment on it. So if someone is treating another person unfairly, it doesn't matter if it's your own mother or a sibling, a distant cousin, or the boyfriend of one of your distant cousins. It doesn't matter. It's just in any type of, it could be a friend. It could just be, it could be a coworker, a boss. It does not matter. You have no problem. You speak, I heard truth teller. So you have like, it's truth teller energy. You can see past the surface of a situation. And I don't get over analytical in the way that it's like stressful, or you're biting nails, or you're like, let me da-da-da-da. I'm just getting that it's more of like, it's energetic, one, and it's a self-computing system where you can pretty quickly recognize when there's like harsh or unfair treatment, and you'll call it. You'll call it what it is. I heard gates of hell, and I'm just trying to I'm asking Spirit, what does that mean? Why? I heard bad behavior. It's like when you, okay. I heard harsh judgments. And I heard critical. I heard two-faced. It's like when you come across these kind of energies, I don't know what that has to do with gates of hell, but it's like when you come across that type of energy or that type of expression of energy in people, you will call it. And you have no, like, you are coming through as the person that will, you will definitely speak up for the underdog. Also, what I'm getting for your relational strengths is that you have no okay, so this is the gates of hell. It's like the things that people fear in relationships, the topics that people fear talking about, or it's like, you know, a lot of people, I think that they go into relationships presenting an image and they're trying to maintain that image so that they can maintain that relationship, but then that gets difficult because eventually you want to just be yourself. And so, you know, it's like when someone starts to recognize that or they call it out, you know, they might trigger the other person. And so now they, you know, they want to be on defense or whatever. And so most people a lot of people, I think they try to avoid that, like calling it out or whatever. And unless it's like used as unless it's weaponized in some way. You're not afraid of that. You're like, why? Because you're an authentic person. So it's like, what can a person call out about you that you wouldn't be truthful about? You know, even if it's something that's less than pleasant, even if it's like, well, you know, you did this thing that was not pleasant, and you'd be like, you know what? You're right. I did do that. Oof, that was not my best self, blah, 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 whatever. And then you'll handle it however you handle it. A lot of people won't do that. They will project and then say, oh, well, you know, but you did this, da, 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 da. And you're not that person. You're not engaging in that. You're like, okay, well then if you felt that way, you should have brought that up whenever you noticed it. But now is not the time. We're talking about this situation. And you know what I'm saying? Like, this is not in alignment with what you attest to your values being, or this, or what you demonstrated, or what you said, or how you presented, or da 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 da. Like, you have no problem going into that like darker realm of people, of their like psyche. And this is not like in a manipulative way. It's just like, you don't, where most people are afraid to hit on certain okay, so it's like where other people might tiptoe around another person's ego, especially if they have fragile ego, you do not. Because that other person might be afraid of whatever the lashing might be from that fragile ego, and you're just like, well, that's just an expression of your fragile ego, and I recognize that it's a fragile ego and there's nothing to be afraid of, so like, I'm gonna go in. It's like the areas of a relationship that someone might consider like forbidden, like the gates of hell, like we're not gonna go there because that's gonna be, it might be reactive. You are confident in your ability to handle it. So you're like, I can see beyond the surface of whatever this is, and I'm going to go there because I'm going to show you that there's nothing to be afraid of, and I'm not going to judge you or crucify you or berate you or manipulate you or use it against you or weaponize it. I'm not going to do any of those things. Let's just talk it through so that you can see also that there's nothing to be afraid of, because once you do, then you can strengthen your ego and you don't have to operate from an ego perspective or a fragile ego, and you can move into your higher self, and then we can have a healthier communication, and then this relationship can progress forward in a way that's beneficial and contributes to both of our healing and our growth. And that is your strength. I really wanted to curse just now, but I felt like I maybe should have like dialed it back, so I didn't. I was gonna say that's your Emma effing strength, because that is a Emma effing strength. That's amazing. That is healthy. That is like, and that is an example of how to have great communication, a great relationship, a trusted, a loyal, like, I'm trying to find another word other than healthy, and I don't know what's going on with my brain lately, but it's just a solid structure to build a relationship on. And that's phenomenal. And all of that contributes to the you that you are, the strength of pulling yourself out. And that's why it's like having the experiences that you've had and being able to pull yourself out, it's like all of these lends itself to each other. So you're able to meet people in their darkness because you've been in your darkness several times over. And I heard you've lived there, and you've been able to pull yourself up. And so it's like you are the darkness. You're not afraid of it. So you know what I mean? Like, you can approach other people's darkness and bring the light into that because you figured out how to do that for yourself in situations where other people that doesn't have this type of strength would not make it. And that is a huge accomplishment. So thank you for maintaining and for making it out, because we need people like you. And I am so super appreciative that you've even come to my channel, Pile 4. I love you. Thank you. I hope you feel seen. I know that this journey is a difficult one. I certainly can relate to this. This is my pile. This is the one that I picked. So I can relate to you 100%. But if you feel this served, Pile 4, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. If you think that this will help someone else, please feel free to share it. If you are returning from a past video, I want to say thank you so much for coming back. And if this is your first time here, I hope to see you in a future video. Thank you, Pile 4. Bye.